Feel free to check out my TeePublic after the video, and support me on Patreon. Watch till the end of the video for more. Special thanks to Patreon supporter The Bonus Commentary Podcast for commissioning this video. To become a patron, click the link in the description. Hey guys, just got back from Taco Bell. Got stuffed into a dumpster by some guy in red spandex. It is what it is though. This grilled cheese burrito's kind of odd. This is gonna be a running gag, isn't it? Godzilla. Man, how many times do I gotta reintroduce this big guy on this channel? Y'all know who this is. 1954, nuclear allegory, kickstarted the genre of kaiju eiga as we know it, responsible for a mass majority of tokusatsu. What hasn't been said about Godzilla? It was so big during the 60s where arguably its most popular films were released. And coinciding with them were movies like Mothra, Frankenstein Conquers the World, and War of the Gargantuas. The Ultra series even started during this time. Of course, this also meant that there would be films that would try to cash in on this kaiju craze, like Gamera, The X from Outer Space, and Yongri. And of course, they were, well, cheaper, great value discount versions of everyone's favorite King of the Monsters. However, one Godzilla cash-in actually manages to stand out from the others, and that would be the 8th wonder of the world, all the way from Britain, King Gorgo from 1961. A lot of people tend to dismiss Gorgo, mainly due to the time it came out, as Godzilla was inspiring a whole lot of monster movies during the 60s. That and the surface level similarities between the two films. But in all honesty, Gorgo's actually better than you'd expect. Sure, one may look at this and go, yeah, that's blatant false advertising because I've definitely seen that before. But have you though? What makes Gorgo very interesting is that it only takes the concept of Godzilla, being a giant monster of legend that goes on a rampage, and it manages to make it very unique, which allows it to stand out from the other monster films at the time. In fact, Gorgo was actually going to be set in Japan as an homage to Godzilla, and even Australia in case there already weren't enough terrifying creatures over there. But they decided to go where no other giant monster has gone before, Europe, more specifically the British Isles. It was directed by Eugene Laurie, who actually directed not only movies like The Giant Behemoth and The Colossus of New York, he also directed The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, one of the movies that actually inspired Godzilla. But not only that, Gorgo was produced by the King brothers, who distributed Rodan in the United States. So already, this sounds like a classic. First thing you'll notice is just how excellent this scoring is. Oh yeah, another thing you'll notice is that there is lots of blue screen. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of blue screen. So much blue screen that you can... Actually, I would not recommend a drinking game out of it. But on a visual standpoint, it looks really nice and very impressive for the time, especially when you look at the effects, which I'll get to later. After a ship at sea takes some damage from a volcanic eruption, the men on it take it to a nearby island for repairs, all while stumbling upon strange dead sea creatures, and the disappearance of some of their fellow crewmates as they suddenly died of fear.
You ask me, he died of fright.
Huh.
What did you see, Sam?
I don't know. But whatever it was, I never want to see it again.
I guess he saw the live-action Devilman. All of this builds up to the reveal of the giant ancient beast Gorgo, who doesn't show up until around 25 minutes into the film. And when Gorgo appears on screen, that is when the film really gets going. Sure, the scenes before were pretty suspenseful and interesting, but Gorgo is just a spectacle to behold. Now, yes, they have not aged the best, but if you can get past how spotty the blue screen and composite shots can be, the set design and cinematography is just incredible. It's hard to believe that this was the early 60s. I mean, just look at the composite shots in King Kong vs. Godzilla in comparison. And that movie only came out 2 years after this. Not to mention, Gorgo has a very cool looking design. It's like an aquatic looking version of Godzilla, and the suit looks just astonishing. And the miniatures and composite shots complement it extremely well, as it feels like there's just so much life in these shots compared to... God, and that came out 3 decades later? Now, I mentioned before how Gorgo takes the concept of Godzilla and puts its own spin on it. Part of the film also owes itself to King Kong, as Gorgo is captured and turned into a big attraction, except here, it's in a circus. That, and he's also referred to as the 8th wonder of the world.
Gorgo, the 8th wonder of the world.
Speaking of the circus, it doesn't have the greatest shots, but it is what it is. This part of the film also brings up a very interesting allegory for how animals are treated during similar situations, as there have been numerous stories how these innocent animals would be taken away from their habitats, all for selfish financial gain. And you end up feeling sorry for Gorgo. I mean, he was essentially kidnapped from his home, and now people are just putting him on display as like this trophy of sorts. I mean, really questions the ethicality of this sort of stuff that happens in real life. There's even a little boy who acts as the voice of reason, but he's, of course, ignored by the grown-ups. Oh, but it turns out this Gorgo they've taken is just a baby, and that Mama Gorgo is out there, and she is not happy. And again, the effects are just outstanding for the time. I cannot get enough of them. Ugh! I should also note how a good chunk of the film is composed of stock footage, mainly when it comes to military footage, but it helps the story progress, even if the dubbing is not that great.
Contact broken. Target moving toward the estuary. Too fast to follow.
And now the story focuses on Ogra, Gorgo's mother, marching her way to reunite with her child, as the military tries to fend her off and our main characters fight over the freedom of Gorgo. I cannot stress this enough, but Gorgo is perhaps the best Godzilla cash-in to come out during the monster boom of the 60s. I cannot praise it enough for how uniquely it stands out compared to films like Gamera, Yungary, Reptilicus, The X from Outer Space. I mean, the story is good, the effects are just great, the soundtrack is great, and I really like how it delves into themes that relate to animal cruelty in the entertainment industry. But I wouldn't go as far as to call Gorgo a great film. Again, the blue screen can kind of make this movie a hard sell. The characters are rather forgettable due to how little screen time they have in this hour and 18-minute movie. Oh, and there are times where you can actually see the curtain that's supposed to represent the night sky. And this electrical wire scene is totally taken from Godzilla. Undoubtedly, it's a movie that's style over substance, but that doesn't really make it enough to dislike it. Gorgo may have some underwhelming aspects, but it's definitely enjoyable and tons of fun. But wait, there's more. There's actually a Gorgo comic book series published by Charlton Comics, with Spider-Man co-creator Steve Ditko. Now understandably, Gorgo is a movie you either like or you don't because of its style over substance nature. Now, Summation, it's a pretty hard sell these days, but you can really tell the filmmakers put a lot of effort into the making of this film. It's pretty much what you'd expect from a giant monster movie from the time, if not more. Anyway, please watch Gorgo. I'm sure it'll absolutely be worth your time. But that's not all. Did you know that this review was commissioned by one of my fellow patrons? If you'd like to commission a movie review, then go support me on Patreon, where you can also get early access to videos, exclusive content, and a t-shirt of your choice from my TeePublic. Once I reach enough patrons, I'll review the hit anime Neon Genesis Evangelion. So if that's something you'd like to see, then go support me on Patreon. Or else, Mama Ogra is gonna get real angry, and you won't like her when she's angry. I would also like to give a very special thank you to GamesGalore13 for becoming a new patron. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is TitanGoji, signing off.